Yo, welcome to Vibes and Stuff movie review. I'm Uncle Freezy. I'm joined by Chuck Allen. What's good, Chuck?
What's good, Unc?
Hey, man, tonight we are going to review a cult classic by Spike Lee, a Spike Lee joint called Do the Right Thing, right? I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share the screen just for a second, okay?
All right.
Just for a second because I want to get some get the actors, the cast, and all that stuff right. I'm trying not to do the video parts. I don't want to show the video parts of the movie, so that's what's taking me. But give me a split second. Okay, so so the movie "Do the Right Thing" is written. The screenplay was developed by Spike Lee. It was written by Spike Lee and directed, I think, by Spike Lee, and it featured Danny Aiello as Sal. Right. It also featured Ozzie Davis as the mayor. It
Hmm.
featured what's my guy name? John Turturro as Vito,
Yep.
Spike Lee as Mookie, and some other celebrities that you would grow to appreciate later on. Right. This
Right.
is the very beginning for a lot of people. Right. But it featured Ruby D as Mother Sister, Giancarlo Esposito as Bugging Out, right?
Yep.
John Turturro, Frankie Faison as Coconut Sid, um, Robin Harris as Sweet Dick Willie. Um, Let me see who else. Rosie Perez, um, um, Roger Gwynvor Smith as Smiley, Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Senior Love, I'm sorry, Mr. Senior Love Daddy. His part is actually in this movie actually pretty funny. What I
Yep.
want to say, what I want to do before we actually get into um um the um the breakdown of the movie itself
Hmm.
is in 1989 there was a lot of civil unrest in a lot of metropolitan cities,
Right.
mainly New York City. Mainly New York City. There was um, the Tawana Brawley case, a lot of civil rights violations. It's a lot of stuff going on in New York City. A lot of stuff going on
Yes.
in New York City, and so the name of the movie "Do the Right Thing" is probably the most important part or the most important feature of this movie. So, Chuck, when's the last time you saw this movie?
Um. Maybe about a few minutes ago, I just finished wrapping up
Okay.
watching it again because it had been a while since I seen it. Um. For me, I didn't watch it for a while only only because of the emotional content. uh and because it just, those types of these types of things get a brother like me amped. And when I'm filled with that energy, it's I'm left to deal with it on my own, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so, that's why I don't watch movies like Rosewood or Mississippi Burning. Like,
Right.
I've seen them, but they're not constant, go to movies because of the content.
Right.
And I know that what was portrayed isn't necessarily fiction. A
Right.
lot of it isn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So and I just walk away as a black man looking at this, just feeling some type of way, and now I'm just stuck with these feelings for the next couple hours or a day or so.
To deal with on your own
Yes.
because there is no diffusion process. There's no deflation process, right? For
Yep.
for a lot of us that watch movies like this in the safety of our own homes, We watch a movie like this and it drives emotion, and once those emotions are peaked, so to speak, there is no process for us to come down off of that emotional roller coaster safely that we've been on, because do the right thing takes you on a mental and an emotional roller coaster,
Right.
right? Um, and and its in its essence, at its core, it is a movie of misunderstanding,
Across the board. Yes.
right? It's a movie of misunderstanding. It's a movie of misguided love. You know what I'm saying? Love for your neighborhood,
Right.
love for your fellow man, right?
Right.
Love for different races that's not manifested in a over the top way,
Right.
right? Because somebody doesn't show love overtly
Hmm.
doesn't mean that there is no love there at all,
Right.
right? This movie um had a lot of and I say that because as the movie goes on, and I want to kind of go in order, but just to show a little bit of love where love is not shown overtly, but it's there,
Hmm.
is the love or the appearance of love between mother, sister, and Demea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There
Right.
is some caring there. Some, I'm not saying romantic, heartfelt love like they should be together and be a couple,
Hmm.
but clearly mother, sister cared about Demea. And
Yes.
clearly Demea cared about his community, which
Yes.
included mother, sister,
Yes.
right? So, um, let me get your thoughts of an overview of the movie, and then an overview, and then we can maybe break down from beginning to end. Is that okay? You cool with
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Absolutely. Um, just to back up just a little bit, because this movie takes place in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Um, 89 is when the movie was released, and in 1989 in New York was a
Pressure cooker.
absolutely. I was looking for the word. There you go, a pressure cooker, because in 1989 you have the Central Park jogger case,
Yep.
right? You
Yep.
got Yusef Hawkins,
Yep.
the murder of Yusef Hawkins in Bensonhurst,
In Bensonhurst. Yep.
right? You got the Tawana Brawley case, and
Yep.
there's still questions to this day about how that turned out.
Right.
As you can see, it talks about it in the movie. Well,
Right.
briefly,
Real, real
but
brief. Real brief.
real brief. We'll get
Yep.
to that part. But the reason I'm setting that stage is because this movie uh, was a reflection of those neighborhoods, of that neighborhood at that time, and how uh, the dynamics between the different ethnicities, the cops, and everything was just a trickle down effect of what eventually happened. You know, the marches and protests and things that came out of that in 1989.
Right.
And my impressions of the movie was it encapsulated the neighborhood, because
Right.
everything in the movie I could point out and I was like, yeah, I know people like that. I know
Yep.
groups. I remember when, certain people would, hang out on the stoop when kids could actually play on the
Yep.
block, you know.
Yep.
Uh I thought the movie was an absolute time capsule. If you want to know what was going on in 88, 89 here in New York City, pop in
Right.
that movie, and it is a perfect depiction of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, 1989.
Right.
I
Right.
thought it was a good movie. Um, No, actually, I thought it was a great movie, but there were a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
A lot of questions. Mind you, the first time I saw this movie, I was like 9 or 10 at the time. So
Okay.
a lot of things kind of, you know, went over my head because I wasn't looking at the movie from a person with experience lens. I'm looking
Right.
at it as a naive kid
Full of
who
emotion.
right. And I don't know, like I'm conscious of some of these things, but I don't have the in-depth knowledge because I don't have any experience. You know what I mean? Like I don't uh let me see a good, because I don't want to skip through the movie. I want to start from the beginning. Okay. So as a kid, you kind of don't pay attention to certain things because you're a kid. You're focused on kid stuff. Uh and you don't see the social and economic divide
Right.
in and how that plays a part in how people view your neighborhood, how people view themselves in that neighborhood. Um, so this movie, as an adult, I'm like, wow, a lot of the same things that they're dealing with in 1989.
The number. Another
Yes,
summer. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2022. I can make that movie can be
33
so
years later. 33 years later.
still extremely relevant about Bed-Stuy neighborhood to this day.
Yep.
Still relevant. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning and break this thing. No, well, you know what? You gave me an opportunity to say what I thought of the movie. What do you think?
So I think the movie, from a low budget cinematography aspect,
Mm-hmm.
is brilliant.
Yes.
So think about shoestring budget,
Mm-hmm.
and then think about all the camera angles, right? All the scenes, all the close-ups,
Right.
right? Think about all of the camera manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all of the scenes. Think about Ozzie Davis waking up that morning in a twin bed, looking out of a window with blinds on it, and the blinds are scattered. Right? You remember Ozzie Davis in the bed
Y-
waking up in the beginning of the movie?
yes.
Boy, it's
It's
hot.
hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And they get and looking out the window, out the blinds on the windowsill. On the windowsill, he got stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just reminds you, like in these single bedroom apartments
Mm-hmm.
that you could barely afford, you have to multi-purpose stuff. So he had to use a windowsill as a shelf,
Yep.
multi-purpose and stuff, because of the social economic things
Right.
that we're gonna get to later. Right. The blinds. I call them snaggletooth blinds. Right. You know how the blinds are supposed to go all the way across,
Yeah.
but you don't had them so long that
In a
they
bit.
just like, yeah, they done bent and broke. I call them snaggletooth blinds. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so thinking about all these things, man. Right. The cinematography. Thinking about the Rosie Perez with the ice cube scene. That's
Yes.
brilliant. It ain't have nothing to do with nothing. It's just about a dude that's real slick, trying to, you know what I'm saying, get over,
Yeah.
just trying to make it, trying to keep his relationship together. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? He like, yo, I know I ain't seen you in 4 days and blah blah blah. He wasn't cheating. He just ain't got his life together.
Right.
He just clumsy,
Yes.
right? But he looked like he got his life together about to some people.
Right.
But think about it. He was a bad worker at his job, right? He was a
Mm-hmm.
bad delivery guy.
Mm-hmm.
How would it take 2 hours for you to deliver a pizza to a house that's down the street and you going for 2 hours?
Absolutely.
every delivery, every
Every
delivery.
delivery.
Yeah, yeah. And his boss is telling like Mookie, listen, man, come back. Your boss is telling you to come back. I don't want to fire you. And you're like, all
Right.
right, stop sweating me. This little stuff that you may not, as a young emotional person, like when I first saw it, I'm like, dang, his boss is a jerk. But then as somebody who managed people, right?
Right.
You look at it as a different way. Now your perspective is different. You like, yo, I tell this dude to deliver a pizza to a building that's not 8 blocks, I'm sorry, 8 buildings down, and he gone for 2 hours. Bruh, that's supposed to be 15 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Tops. 8 houses down? That's nowhere. That's nowhere. And you gone for 2 hours and you making 250 a week plus tips.
He getting paid, man.
Yeah. In 1989, $1,000 a month in Brooklyn plus tips probably wasn't nothing. But listen, man, for somebody to pay you $1,000 a month to deliver pizzas to places 8 houses down, bruh, come on. And all you did was deliver the pizza and come back to the store. You didn't do other duties in the store.
Right.
Right? You remember in the beginning of the movie when Pops was like, when Sal was like, yo, sweep up in front of the store. And the dumb
Right.
brothers was like trying to pass it between each other. I don't want to sweep. Sal was in. Okay. I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I'll say this. Sal took pride in his store.
Absolutely.
Right? Took pride in his store. He's like, yo, just sweep up in front of the store. Y'all doofuses just standing here arguing. Just sweep, but yo, this movie is what it is, but at the same time, it's not what it is at the same time.
Right. Right.
Hey, so what I wanted to do is um um instead of being a pilot for this one, I just wanted to be like the co-pilot because I just wanted to kind of play off of you a little bit and some of your thoughts on this movie.
Okay.
Because I do have contrite thoughts and thoughts that are pinpointed, but I also don't want to be laser focused on it. I do also want to take the bird's eye view on this also.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that said, you know what I'm saying,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Um, Before we go any further, because we talked about the cinematography, and we have to definitely shout out Dickerson. That was the cinematographer on just about all of, if not all of, Spike Lee's movies.
okay,
Um, it was definitely his handiwork that made that movie a masterpiece, because I know that people have been studying uh his angles, like you were saying, like
right,
just that it was shot beautifully, man.
right,
It was shot beautifully. So all right, so if we're going to break down the movie, let's start with Sal,
okay,
right?
okay,
Sal is an Italian American who owns a pizza restaurant in the heart of Bed-Stuy. Sal is a father who established a business that he hopes that one day he can pass down to his sons.
right,
Um, Sal is the quote unquote American dream. I built a business from scratch.
right,
I serviced a neighborhood for over 25 years.
right,
Um, is everything perfect? No,
right,
right? But there are more people that love Sal in this neighborhood than people that hate Sal.
right,
Sal is a part of the fabric of the neighborhood.
right,
Sal has two sons.
right,
Uh, Pino. Pino is the youngest. Pino
right,
is the son that is caught in the middle.
Right.
He was raised in a traditional Italian American home with a traditional Italian American values,
Right.
but the world is changing around him,
Right.
and he has a connection to this new wave of energy and music called hip hop,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so he is friends with uh, Mookie, the delivery guy,
Right.
right? So if
Right.
Sal's had this restaurant for 25 years in Bed-Stuy, then Pino grew up in Bed-Stuy.
Right.
He
Right.
could be from Bensonhurst, but he grew up in Bed-Stuy, right?
Right.
So
Right.
he has a connection to that neighborhood as well.
To both.
Right,
A foot in both worlds.
exactly. And he's conflicted through the movie, like because he has his big brother over his shoulder saying one thing, and some of it could be true,
Right.
but he's friends with Mookie, and none of the things that he said has happened thus far. Like Mookie's been his guy, and Mook has, as we see in the movie, go to bat for Pino. Like, nah, Pino's down, man. Like, don't like
Right.
Pino's down, right?
Yep. Yep.
Now, Vito. Vito is a traditional Italian American, right?
Or he thinks he is. He
He
thinks he
think
is.
he thinks he is, and that was the question that I wanted to bring up, because does his racist views really his own, or the people that he hangs around?
Right. Right.
Because there's a conversation in the further along in the movie with him and Mookie, where he names all of his favorite, people, artists,
Right.
athletes, and so forth and so on, and they're all black.
Right.
And when he tries to explain himself, he couldn't.
Right.
You know, when he tried to explain how these people aren't really, I mean, they're black, but they're
The
not.
N word.
Yes,
Because he said, because he's making the distinction. Like Magic Johnson is black, but the dudes out there on the corner, they the N word. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's kind of like what he's saying. You're like, you know what I mean?
Oh, these people have something to offer that entertains me or inspires me, versus these people, I don't think they don't have the same kind of talent or whatever that these people have. So therefore, I don't look at them the same, right? Um, Vito wears his racism on his sleeve,
Right.
and one of the like I said, one the question that I had was, is this really how he feels, or is this peer pressure? Is this peer pressure? You know, because his friends or the people that he's around feel this way.
Right.
And he goes, Pop, my friends laugh to my face that we come down here to feed the mullions and the apes. This is like the planet of the apes down here.
Right.
And uh, father says, if they were really your friends, they wouldn't be making fun of you.
They
Like, you're
wouldn't be
making a
laughing to
decent,
your face.
right. You're making a decent living uh, with a respectable business. Um, Again, the separation of races and classes. Pop, we should have the restaurant in our neighborhood, an Italian American restaurant in an Italian American neighborhood. How much business do you really get?
Right. Right.
You're not the
And
only.
so did
Mhm.
I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
I
I'm
was going to
sorry.
say he's not the only person with that idea. It's probably
Right.
millions, right?
Right. How many and this has nothing to do with the movie, but how many Tony's pizzas have you seen? They are everywhere, and it's not
Everywhere,
all owned by the same person.
right?
It's like in my neighborhood, we have soul food places everywhere because my neighborhood is majority black. right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to your point, to your point, Sal had been saying the whole time to everyone, man, calm down. The thing, because to me, the thing with Vito is, I don't think Vito was majority racist because he liked Magic Johnson, right? And
Right.
others. I think Vito was angry. And racism is the escapism. Racism is the escape for being angry.
Right.
Because Vito wants to belong with his friends. He wants to feel like a part of the crew. He
Mm.
wants to belong,
Mm.
but he's making his money in people that they feel like are beneath them. So now Vito has a hole that he has to fill, right? I do have a decent living, but I'm making my money feeding these people that I feel like are beneath us. Well, you don't feel like they're beneath you. You're angry because your friends are not accepting you. That is the
Tim.
key. That's the key thing with Vito, right? That's the key with Vito. That's the reason why he was mad at Smiley. He wasn't mad at Smiley because Smiley did something directly to him,
Hmm.
right? He was mad at the thought of Smiley,
Yes.
right? That's the thing. So I didn't mean to hijack your point. That's just
No, no,
my
no.
take on what we were saying. Like the thing with because the younger brother, who is more like Sal, the younger brother is more like Sal. The
Right.
younger brother is, listen, I'm here in this community. I'm just gonna try to make the best of everything that go on every day.
Right.
Why disrespect these people and take their money?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of the, it's when you're in the service business, you'll realize that. Why do you disrespect somebody and take their money? Something just don't feel right about that. That's the thing with Sal too, right?
Yes. Sal ingratiated himself with the neighborhood. Everybody knows Sal.
Right,
Sal knew, people by their first names, right?
right, right,
Um, but there were particular characters, as we'll get into later, that he just had a disdain for, and you can see some of the anger that Vito possessed uh, come out. But we'll get to that.
right.
The reason I'm talking about, I brought up Sal, Vito, and Pino is because uh, this is where everything uh, begins and ends, right, for the movie, right? Them
Right.
pulling up in the big white Cadillac, and the brothers on the corner. Man, Sal, I gotta get me a car like that,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So um, they knew. Uh, Sal knew it was going to be hot. That everyone knew it was going to be hot that day. But
Right.
when the heat comes, so does the nonsense, right?
Yes.
And Sal
Yes.
and Sal tried to keep a cool head and trying to keep his boys with a cool head
Right.
because it's hot and people are agitated when it's hot
Right.
and things can
Right.
happen when it's hot, right?
Right.
Um, I have a I was going to save it for later.
Let's get
But,
to it. Let's just get to it.
um,
Because there's no spoilers. This movie is 33 years old.
yeah,
So there's no spoiler. It's not like when we reviewed the Batman. Like, it's
right,
not like there's a spoiler alert. You know what I'm saying? You try to save spoilers for like at least 6 months in, you know what I'm saying, for
right.
people that hadn't seen it. But this movie is 33 years old. This movie is older than some people we know.
Yes.
Right.
so so ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen it, shame on you.
Right. Shame on you, Subliminal
Shame on you.
209.
W- w- okay, wow, he's never seen. Okay,
No, he hadn't seen it. It's just happenstance. He hadn't seen it.
so okay, now was Sal an enabler was Sal an enabler?
Yes.
Because okay, because I felt like he was as well, because he allowed Mookie to do what he did, and he
Yeah.
never really came down on him.
Right.
Uh, his oldest son, Vito, was out of pocket. He was letting that N word fly,
Yeah.
and Sal never corrected him. Never say, don't say that word. Never s- check your tone.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I thought Sal could have nipped a lot of things in the bud,
Right.
um, particularly for that day,
That
right?
day. Yeah. Yeah.
That day. Um, Another interesting point was bugging out. I thought bugging out's character was the most annoying character in the movie,
Right. Let me
because
if you don't mind, let me get to your enabler point.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Let me because I want to get to bugging out, right? But I want to get to I want to I don't want to have your enabler point just dissipate, right? So Julian Blum is in the building. What's good? So to your point about enabling, man, I disagree a little, right? Where I disagree is Sal diffused a lot of stuff during during this day. Like he had run-ins. So I counted 5 run-ins during that day that he tried to diffuse, right? He had to run in with his son Vito, right? At the
Right,
beginning of the movie. In the beginning of the movie, he like, hey Vito, sleep up in front of the store. Vito, like Pino, sleep up in front of the store. You know what I'm saying? My man is like, yo, didn't I tell you to do that? He be like, but Pino right there. He like, yo, one day this is gonna be your. What are you doing? Right? That's one. Right? Remember, bugging out came in and he asked for a slice, and he said, yo, bugging out slices on the thing. He like, yo, that'll be, 150, whatever. He was like, yo, I want some extra cheese. He tried to play my man. I want some extra cheese. Put some extra cheese on that. My man was like, extra cheese is $2. And my man's like, what? Bugging out. No pun intended, but the pun is intended, right? So
right,
right there on this right there at the register, he like, yo, extra cheese is $2. So then bugging out takes the Parmesan shaker and try to put like $2 worth of Parmesan on one slice of pizza. What are we
right,
doing? And if you notice carefully, bugging out was shaking Parmesan all over the counter and not mostly on his pizza. And so now Sal got to clean up for him. Instead of Sal flipping out, you know what I'm saying? He let my man walk off and he cleaned up the counter. Right?
right,
Right? So that's 2, right? Remember, Radio Raheem walked in the store with Fight the Power bumping.
right,
Remember that?
right,
And so he's like, yo, why you gonna walk into a place of business with your music bumping?
right,
That's that's disrespectful. Like for me, I don't know how much of that I could have took. I
right.
swear I would have knocked Radio Raheem slap out. I know he a big dude, but he would have had to get it. Because you don't come in people's place of business doing stuff your way. It's a
Right,
place of business. And Sal got customers in there. And so while people think Sal was going over the top with him, Sal is a business owner looking out for his customers. Right? Just because
absolutely.
they black don't mean they want to hear fight the power while they eating pizza.
No,
Right?
absolutely.
So that's another one, right? Also, bugging out is cussing at Sal in front of his customers about no black people being on the wall. Right?
Right,
Why ain't no brothers on the wall? And Sal was like, yo, this ain't even Sal basically like, yo, this ain't even black and white. Yo, if you had your own business, you could put whoever you wanted on your wall.
big time.
That's what Sal was telling. Like, yo, this is an Italian food place, right? Now, I disagree with that logic. I'm like, yo, if you putting pictures on the wall, if you Italian, put your. But if you in the hood, you can have some hood. You can have some brothers on the wall, bro. Right? And then Sal also with Mookie. He like, yeah, Mookie. Come on, man. Mookie delivered a pizza that was, I counted 3 buildings down. 3 buildings down. Mookie come back 2 hours later. Chuck, I know you would have fired him, bro. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You deliver a pizza 3 buildings down. Remember the little boy was on the stairs playing with the toy. The little girl
Yes.
came walking down the stairs, and Mookie went inside went down the thing
Right.
on the landing and delivered the pizza 3 buildings down, and you gone for 2 hours? When Mookie got back, Sal lit into him. Yo, it don't take that long to deliver no pizza, man. Come on. What are you doing? It's a place of business. Right?
Right.
Sal had been doing stuff like that all day. All day, man. All day Sal putting out these little fires everywhere, trying to keep people in line. And the people that are being checked feel like they right. Mookie like, man, I'm out here delivering pizzas for the man all on my back and blah, blah, blah. Mookie, it don't take no 2 hours to deliver no pizza 3 buildings down. If you at work, bro. You know what I'm
saying? I'm glad that we touched on this part because I felt Bugging Out's character was fake revolutionary.
Right.
It was only based on the audience that he was around.
Right.
Because even the situation with the biker who he really didn't want to do anything, but it was the people around him instigating.
Right.
Man, them shoes ain't. That's another point that I want to get to, but I'm going to stick right here. Bugging Out was bugging out because if you walk into my house and you go, man, how come you don't have no kung fu pictures on your wall? Because I don't want none. Right. It's my house.
Right.
I don't have to do that. But don't you? No. I don't have to. Should you go into a business knowing what that business is and then demand something different of that business?
Right.
Because of how you feel. Like this wasn't something that he was passionate about. It was just something he noticed that he can mess with Sal about.
Right.
Right? Because he was already upset with Sal about the $2 for the extra cheese. Right. And then Sal taking the Parmesan cheese out of his hand.
Right. Right.
Because usually a person who gets a slice is getting that slice to go. Right? But he chose to sit down. Right? And he's about to take a bite of the slice and he looks up at the wall. Right?
Right.
How come there are no brothers on the wall? Because it's a pizzeria owned by an Italian American man. So why wouldn't it be Italian Americans on the wall of his business? Right?
Right. Right.
No different than going into a predominantly black barbershop and they got pictures of Malcolm X and
Ali, Dr.
and
King.
Ali, Dr. King.
Yeah.
If someone came in there and was like, "How come you guys don't have no pictures of Rock Marciano up there?" Or
Rocky Marciano, because
Rocky
Rock
Marciano.
Marciano is our boy. Rock Marcy. Shout out to Rock Marcy. Shout out to Rock Marcy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Rock. But yeah, Rocky Marciano or you know, Joe Namath,
Or Justin Bieber, somebody, anybody, just
somebody,
yeah,
anybody, like this is our establishment. This is our establishment. We put up whoever we want to put up, right?
right, right,
So I thought that was um when I initially saw the movie, I agreed with bugging out.
right, right,
Like, yeah, how come ain't no? Yeah, you in a black neighborhood, you should have black people up on the wall. But if I moved into a predominantly white neighborhood and someone came over to visit me,
right,
and they're like, "How come you got all these pictures of there's a picture of a black Jesus on your wall?
right,
How come there's no white Jesus?"
right,
You understand what I'm saying? So after I saw that, I was like, "Yo, man, I don't." I think bugging out was bugging out at that time because he didn't realize where he was.
right,
That's that man's establishment,
right,
right? If he
right,
was doing something unfair, meaning all the black people could only order from the window, while whites and others could come in the restaurant, then that's something that you have
right,
a legit beef about,
right,
right? And the reason you want people to boycott is not because Sal did something wrong or he's doing something wrong. It's that your feelings are hurt.
right. Or
And
Sal didn't do anything overtly, intentionally disrespectful to you.
right,
You just took it that way.
right, right. Um, and you saw immediately uh his bigotry or prejudice coming out because he was very quick to run down on the guy in the bird jersey and try to intimidate him.
Right,
No, this who told you to walk on my side of the block? Who told you to buy a house on my side of the block in my neighborhood? Blah blah blah.
right,
And at first the guy's like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, it's not a problem." But
right.
then here comes the crowd of instigators. You know
Yeah.
that crowd of instigators plays a big part throughout the afternoon,
Yes.
right? Because it's the
Right.
same crowd of instigators that started stuff with the mayor.
Right.
Like the mayor wasn't bothering nobody.
The mayor wasn't bothering nobody.
Yes. But now you got to go over there and harass the man about being a drunk and no, I don't know about your pain. This is what I would do and blase, blase,
Right.
blah.
Right.
And immediately I thought as that scene was going down, I was like, it's very easy to play Monday morning quarterback with someone else's life and
Right.
say how you would have done things. But
Right.
in the moment, in that time, you don't know. You don't know how you're going to react. You think you know how you're going to react. You think you know, hey man, you can get all the training you want.
Right.
It's different when shots are being fired,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
different. It's different when you know it's a life and death situation.
Right.
This is not a simulation where you're being graded for
Right.
something that you can do over again,
Well,
right?
Chuck, you know what though? You sorry about cutting you off. I just want to interject something. I just want to just rewind back to a little to something that you just said. The reason why he did the mayor like that, bro, is because he felt like the mayor was disposable. If you disrespect the mayor, ain't nobody gonna be mad. If the
Right,
mayor come up missing, ain't nobody gonna be mad, right? So it's okay. It's okay to just notice they didn't force that anger on Mookie
no,
or somebody in a position of power that was black,
right,
right? I just wanted to say that they just felt like, see, you could discard the mayor because nobody took the mayor seriously, but the mayor was showing love throughout the movie and even saved a life in
Yep.
the movie, right? Right.
Yep.
So he is an integral part of the neighborhood, but these young people felt like he was disposable.
Facts. Facts. And it was the person that least look upon, that gave the most, that had the least, but gave everything that he had, gave uh all of that love, right? Like
Right.
just like with a basketball team, you're like, oh man, such and such don't do nothing, but they be the glue, the person
Right.
that make everybody laugh, take pressure off of people, that
Theo
encourage
Pinson.
guys. There you go. There you
Theo
go.
Pinson.
There you go. Every neighborhood needs a Theo Pinson or a mayor,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Um, so you have Sal dealing with. Uh, you could tell Sal dealt with people according to how they. Uh, I don't want to say respected him, or how they approached him, right?
Right.
Like maybe Sal felt a special connection with Mook as a son, because
He
you don't,
said he
right?
said that. He said that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Sal said that. Sal was like, "Yo, I'm thinking about changing the name of the business from Sal's Famous Pizzeria to Sal and Sons Famous Pizzeria. And Mookie, you will always have a place here at Sal's Famous Pizzeria." That's what he
Absolutely.
told Mookie. He told Mookie
Yeah.
that to his face. And Mookie being young
Doesn't
is
see the
like
big
thinking,
picture.
yeah, he thinking like, man, he think I'm gonna be the delivery guy for the rest of my life. No, no, stupid. And I'm not talking to you, Chuck. Of course, I wouldn't be disrespectful to you or nothing like that. I'm talking about the Mookie character,
Right.
right? He like, no, stupid. This is not about you being the delivery guy. You know what I'm saying? This is about you. Sal said, Mookie, I always looked at you like you're one of my sons. He
Right.
said that at the end of the movie. You remember when the crowd was at the door? Remember,
Yes.
Sal said that line, and then the crowd started knocking on the door to come in
To
after
get one.
Sal was closed.
To get one. To get. All right. I'll give 4 more slices. Let's go. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right.
I,
The store was closed.
the store was closed.
Right, the store was closed. And Sal opened up after he was closed to do 4 more slices. He didn't need the money. He wanted to feed the kids.
Right. He saw 4 hungry people at his door wanting slices of his pizza. Right. Um.
Right.
I a very quick. I'm gonna get a very quick story. I've seen that happen. I grew up in Lafrac, as other people will call it, Lefrak, and right on the corner of 56th Street, on 57th Avenue. There's a pizzeria, Vinny's Pizzeria. It's
Right.
been there since I was a little boy. 2 brothers owned it. They
Right.
had an Asian delivery kid. He was a little bit older than me. I say probably like 5, maybe 6 years older than I. And
Right.
he delivered pizzas every day. You would always see him delivering pizzas. And in the early 2000s, I'll say about '05, '06, they retired. And guess who owns the restaurant now? Asian kid. Gave it to him.
Wow. Wow.
So when you brought that point up, I was like, yes, that's exactly what because you're a part of the family. Yes, we own the place, but you put in just as much sweat equity in this building as we have, right? And
Right.
so, yeah, the guy still, that pizzeria is still there, still serving pizza. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to front. The pizza quality has gone down, but whatever. Um,
Right.
but Mookie did not see. He could never see the big picture. He couldn't
Right.
see the big picture. Um, I took Mookie's character as a slacker,
Yeah.
a guy just fumbling around through life, um, talking about getting this paper, but not really putting his
But not
best
really.
foot forward to get it.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Um, he. We find out that he's living with his sister,
Yep.
and even his sister points out, handle your responsibilities, man.
Multiple
Like,
times. Multiple times.
why is this grown man having his younger sister tell him, "Yo, Sal is gonna be pissed off that you're here taking a shower, man. You can't be taking 2-hour lunch breaks, Mook.
Yep. Right. Right.
You can't do that." I thought, uh, I thought his character was extremely flawed. I thought he was a bull, a BS artist.
Right.
Um, and he was just trying to make it through the day with no real vision of a future.
How did you like Spike Lee's portrayal of said Mookie character?
It was, I don't think I thought he did. I thought he did an adequate job, right? Because I'm trying to. I went in that slight pause. I was trying to think, could anyone else done that role and done that role justice? Because they might have would have put too much on it,
Right.
right?
Right.
But he was definitely believable as a guy with a young man without direction. The only thing that was not believable in that whole movie was he had a baby with Rosie
Rosie
Perez.
Perez. Right. Right.
this
That's what I was gonna get
dude,
to.
this dude is not. She ain't rocking with. That ain't happening now.
A pizza
It's a
delivery boy.
yeah.
They
This
had a
this
baby.
bony this bony dude. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
not at all. Right.
Right.
Uh, speaking of Rosie Perez, the beginning of the movie, if that aggressive dancing just took me back to a time when we were talking the other day how everything was aggressive in the 80s,
Right.
and she
Yep.
was
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And the faces she was making.
the
Yeah.
faces she was making, like oh man, that was raw.
Right.
That was unfiltered.
Right.
Um, that was hip hop
Right.
at that time.
Right.
Um, she definitely encapsulated uh the mood, the culture of that time, and it sets the tone for the movie. Um, she like she was so like she brings such a realism to the movie
Right.
because I knew girls that sounded just like that.
Right.
That sounded like that. Like her voice is so distinctive,
Right.
but it's so distinctively New York.
Right. And
Like
the arguing between her and her moms, that that is New York tri-state area, right? That is yep. Hey, hey, man, listen. If you from the New York tri-state area, and I'm talking about Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know how in the hoods people move to places where they can just afford to get by. You know what I'm saying? And so your neighborhood might be black, like you in the Browns, to you black, and then your neighbors might be Hispanic, Spanish, whatever.
right.
and you know, and so my people, and I'm talking about my family members, my
Hmm.
people are loud, aggressive talkers.
Right.
Hey, come here, boy. That's my man right there. And then they talk. We talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Aggressive. We like energy. But if you're looking at us from a distance, it looked like a fight about to break out. You know what I'm saying? And my Spanish neighbors, all you would hear is like the women arguing at each other at whatever, however they just they going off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying that's a fact. That's what it was for my neighbors. The women, the dudes were more like cool, like, hey man, blah blah blah. Some
Hmm.
poppy, what I'm saying, whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the girls, the women, the females, like they just we used to always think like a fight was gonna break out with them. You know what I'm saying? And so to see Rosie Perez and her mother do that in the movie, I was like, dang, he nailed it right there. You know what I'm saying?
Big time, because I automatically understood that because I
Right.
seen it. I experienced it later in life, not when I first saw it, but later
Right.
in life, dating Ecuadorian or Puerto Rican or Dominican or Panamanian, and they don't. At that time, they wasn't playing that. Like, you're being talked about because it starts off English and then it goes Spanish, and then
Yeah.
she's rolling her eyes. But ma, da, da, da. Okay, it's because I got my black ass in here, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Basically, Chuck. Basically, Chuck.
Because in her mind, I'm there to impregnate their daughter, and
And
then
leave.
now they got to raise
Another mouth to
an
feed.
interracial baby. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So I
And their baby's name
absolutely
is Hector.
Hector.
Yep.
So so you understand what I'm saying? So now you have this dynamic, that another barrier that has to be um overcome,
Yep.
because the mother don't like you.
Yep.
When he
And
came
probably
over,
probably never did. Probably never did.
never liked him, and she was not feeling him being there at all,
At all.
at all. And um, just like a street dude, and street dudes don't necessarily mean you have to be selling drugs. Just a guy who has street knowledge and is aware of what's going on, right?
Right.
The woman that was so upset with him, right? You don't come by here to see your son, which he really didn't, because he did exactly what a guy like that would do: go in the room with the mother
Right.
and get his freak on, right?
Chuck, he went to the freezer. Nana was holding his son. He acknowledged his son and went and got the ice, walked back in the room.
Character flaw, man. That's a
Yeah.
character flaw. That's a character
Right.
flaw. That, but I know so many dudes that are like that. Unfortunately, like, yo, you ain't gonna spend no time with your kid. Nah. What, they don't say nah. They just don't.
They just don't.
They just don't. They go see the baby mama. They can tell you all these things about the baby mama. But hey, man, what about your kid?
Right.
Oh man, he's straight. You know,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
2 minutes of parenting every 4 or
4 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of man? What kind of man are you? I
Right.
understand now why the mother is upset with you. I understand
Right.
why uh, Gloria is upset with you, and she's like almost at her tipping point with you,
Right.
and ready to cut you loose.
Right.
You know, um, did they say how old any of these characters were? Did they
No,
mention their ages?
no, I was guessing. I'm guessing the whole time at ages, right? Because I'm thinking Pino is the youngest out of everybody that we saw, aside from the little 10-year-old boy, right?
Okay.
I'm thinking Pino Vito brother, probably the
Hmm.
youngest. I'm thinking he probably like 21, 22. I'm thinking like
Okay.
Vito's probably like 25, 26, maybe 27, maybe.
Hmm.
Sal definitely in his 50s because he got that 50s body. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Radio Raheem is in his 30s. You can tell he in his 30s, right? I'm
Hmm.
thinking um um Bugging Out is probably at 30 also. And I'm talking about the characters in the movie. I ain't talking about like, whatever, whatever, whatever.
Right.
Spike Lee is definitely the character is probably in his mid to late 20s. I guess that's what they were shooting for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
And
at
mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Because what I'm saying is because you notice like everybody sunned Pino, right? Everybody was sunning Pino. Like, come here, little brother. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So yeah, man. So I don't know if they mentioned the age, but I'm guessing, speculating about the age differences. It's the reason why Spike's sister. Because think about it, if
Hmm.
Spike's sister is older than, because a 21-year-old, 22, 23, 24-year-old woman ain't gonna be talking to her older brother like that. So I'm thinking Spike Lee's sister in the movie, and that's his sister in real life too, by the way,
Yes.
is is probably like 26, 27, and they're ready to move on and have her own life, but her big brother living there not doing nothing. So he got to be older than her, like at least 28, 29, something like that.
And just a side note, she has the most amazing brown eyes. But anyway,
Them,
um,
them. Hey, girl.
uh, s- it's because of the age that I was like, yo, well, how old is this dude to be still BSing around in the neighborhood? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have I have a job, but it's not really paying the bills. But I have this job because I get to do all of this extra stuff and not really work. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
And so, um, because he kept saying he had a plan, he had a plan, he had a plan. But what was that? What was that plan? You know, your sister saying you're behind on the rent, but in the beginning of the movie, you're sitting on the edge of the bed counting out $450.
Yep. Yep.
We're not like another great thing about this movie was the movie wasn't shot in the projects.
Right.
It was shot on street where everyone was living in a brownstone, which
Right.
which that's how it was. When I lived in Bed-Stuy, when I lived on Bainbridge Street,
Right.
nothing but brownstones,
Right.
right?
Right.
I thought that was key because it's easy to write off a movie that is in the projects. Oh well, that's the projects. That's how the
Right.
projects is supposed to be.
Right.
Blase, blase, blah.
Right.
But we see home ownership,
Right.
right? We
Right.
see pride and community from the mayor and even the people, love daddy,
Yeah.
mother sister,
Yep.
um, even the three guys on the corner, ML, Sweet Dick Willie, and
And Eddie Kane. Eddie Kane. Eddie Kane. That's his name. Eddie King. Eddie Kane. Eddie Kane from the Five Heartbeats.
one of Five Harveys, Ed Kane Senior.
Yeah. 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 That's what I know him from. And Sugar Hill, right?
Yep.
And Sugar Hill. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He- Um, there was a sense of community pride.
Right.
Um, but there wasn't community togetherness
Right.
because when you talk about those three guys, if like, oh my goodness, like there's so many parallels of that neighborhood that I can relate to
Right.
growing up in Left Rack was that Vinny's Pizzeria is on the corner, and right across the street was this big mural with like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey,
Right.
and then eventually Biggie and Pac ended up there later on.
Right.
There will be a group of men, rain, sleet, or snow, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning when it's time for you to go to school. Those guys will be out there in front of that mural, sitting on lawn chairs or standing up. Sometimes even having a barrel out there,
A fire
burning
barrel.
a
Yep.
fire box.
Yep.
And it's like, why are you guys not going to a job? I don't know these
Right.
people. I don't know the situations.
Right.
Right? As I got as I got older and I seen how the world works, right? Those guys could have been retired. Those guys could have been on disability. Those guys,
They were. They were. Those dudes. I was gonna say that when you those guys that you saw right there, they were. Those are your Vietnam vets,
mhm,
right? Those are your guys with PTSD. Those are your guys with some kind of physical thing that happened to them. Those are the guys when you walk in a house, and it might not be the most beautiful house, right? But when you walk in a house, you'll see all the veteran awards and all that stuff from where they did something. Maybe they served 17 years in the military and got hurt and got sent back home, or maybe they served 25 years in the military and their minds are not right. They can't cope with those guys. Don't work because they can't deal with vetoes and mookies. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine those guys. Imagine being, and I don't want to get into like I want to get sidetracked because, but imagine being a cat that looked like me or Soulfinger or Ron Cleveland that have been places and done some things that as we get older we regret, right? And I ain't telling their business. I ain't telling mine either. Mind your business. Just follow. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is you go to these places and you do all these different things and you never the same person after that, right? And then you come back where it was kill at will in certain places, and then you come back and people that are harmless as flies nag you like flies do. You ever had a fly bother you?
nah,
Yeah. Your first instinct is to do what to that fly? Kill it, right?
yep,
That's what I'm saying. So these dudes, we don't know their backstory for sure,
right,
but what we do know with certainty is these dudes are on the block with no place to go and no rush to get there, right?
bam,
You know what I'm saying? And so these dudes are on the block. They talking that noise. They such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? And so I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I'm gonna get away from the veteran part. I'm gonna get. I think this do the right thing definitely could have been a TV series, right? The
yes,
exploration of characters in depth. Follow Pino because Pino reminds me of the other brother from a Spike Lee movie called Jungle Fever, right?
yep,
You know what I'm saying? Pino remind me of that dude, like following his culture. And it's
hmm
like, he got a counterculture. Like one side is saying, hey man, you Italian. You can't mess with no, jigaboo or whatever is the
right,
slang. You know what I'm saying? You can't mess with her, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. And so man, this movie is Spike Lee. If you watching, I'm gonna tag you on Twitter so you can see this. If you watch it, if you not busy following Nick stuff, I'm gonna tag you in this Spike on Twitter so you can see this. Check this out, man. You did your thing on this one. This one right here,
yeah,
you did your thing. And so while I appreciate what Do the Right Thing has done for the culture, what I would advise is if you saw this 30 years ago, watch it again today and tell me what you think.
yes,
Do you feel the same way you did when you first saw the movie? Does the song Fight the Power have the same impact? Does it drive your emotions the same as it did when you first saw the movie?
I'm going to say no. It doesn't have the same impact on me because when I first saw it, it was like, yeah, we're fighting against the oppressor, and Sal represented the oppressor, and he didn't.
Right.
Sal was just a casualty of war.
Right. Collateral
Um,
damage.
right. So no, no, the song doesn't. But for the time, and that's why I was very adamant about us speaking on the climate of America, and particularly New York City when this movie came out, because it represented everything that was going on at the time, right?
Right. Right.
Um, all of the all of the racial tension that was going on in the city.
Right.
Um, and that just as quickly reiterate, you got the Central Park jogger incident. Five uh 5 young black men who spent 30 years in jail
Right.
for a crime that they never committed.
Right.
City wanted heads,
Right.
and they took the heads of the first 5 people.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Thank you.
Remember, Donald Trump took out a full page ad in the middle of the New York Times.
Yep,
Thank you,
monsters,
Don. Yep. Thank you, Donald Trump.
right? Then you have the murder of Yusef Hawkins.
Yep.
You have the the sexual assault of Tawana Brawley,
Tawana Brawley. Yeah.
right? Um, Mayor Koch is being very political at the time. He don't want to take. He don't want to. He don't want to. He don't want to piss off the police commissioner,
Right.
but he still wants people to vote for him come up in the upcoming election. So he's PC, right?
Right. Look how I rebuilt the Bronx. Really? I go to the Bronx every. This is rebuilt. What did you rebuild the Bronx with, brother? But yeah, yeah, not yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna go on no tangent, bro. I'm good.
Oh no, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah,
I'm ready
man.
to jump down that hole with you.
Yeah, man.
Because the city was on tilt. It was a pressure cooker, like you said. It was on tilt, like it was ready to explode, and then you hit us with this movie, and it's like,
Right. Right.
like what? Because everyone in the neighborhood is represented, even the Latino brothers. Like that
Right.
scene of them sitting on the stoop and a bunch of
Drinking
them
beer.
listening to salsa music,
Right.
extremely common, right? They didn't have any beefs per se,
No.
you know. But I thought that dynamic help ease some of the tensions in the city, but then also raise the awareness of being understanding, because like you said, this movie throughout it was just a bunch of misunderstandings, one after the other, till it culminated into uh what happened at the end of the movie,
Right.
right?
Right.
Bill Nunn's character is the most iconic character from that movie. Everybody know Radio Raheem,
Right.
right?
Right.
Radio Raheem was out of line.
All
You know,
throughout. All
throughout the whole
throughout.
movie, when he goes
Yeah.
to the Korean store,
Right.
hey motherfucker, give me 20 D batteries. These people, you don't speak English, mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
All
wasn't
throughout.
until the the Korean guy curses him back that you all right with me, man. You all right.
Cause he
But
give up. He like, oh, these gaining. You all right, man. I'm gonna let you live. That was the impression I got when Radio Raheem said that. I was like, he was like, yeah, man, y'all right. And to me, Radio Raheem was like, I'm gonna let y'all live. No, man, you can't let them live. That's their store.
Right.
Cause the thing is, he was like, yo, take all the batteries out and count them again. Count them again. Remember that?
Yeah, just being a jerk.
Yeah, you like you come on, bro. They ain't nothing but batteries. And the other thing too about Radio Raheem is he challenged people throughout. Hold on for a second. Let me hold on for just a second.
Okay, no problem. One thing that I want to say about about these characters with the bugging out and the Radio Raheem, black folk, we live in a neighborhood, but we don't own the neighborhood. We can't just go in people's businesses and with disrespect and expect them to respect us. Um, I ain't saying just walking in there, hey, how you doing, and receiving disrespect. Like Radio Raheem throughout the movie, going in Sal's with his radio blasting. That's a place of business. Yes, it's his radio. Yes, he has a right to listen to his music, but you don't have the right to walk into my business, my establishment with your radio blasting. Yes,
Right.
you could come and demand, or not demand, but ask for 20 batteries that you're going to pay for, but you don't walk into my business cursing me out, uh, telling me to learn how to speak English, right?
Yeah.
You walk in with this attitude of you're just supposed to a superiority because you
Right.
live in a neighborhood. And I
Right.
know a lot of black people who have that mentality. This is my neighborhood, but what do you own?
Yeah. How is this your neighborhood when you don't own nothing? Because being present doesn't mean you own it. Right. I had the
Yeah.
same conversation with a dude that worked at the rec for like 25 years. He's like, this is my rec league. No, man, this ain't your rec. Just because you've been here for 25 years, don't mean you own it. Yo, this a rec league is for the city, right? And
Yeah.
saying Radio Raheem, when he tested everybody, and he even had a soliloquy on the thing, hate and love. You know what I'm
I
saying?
thought that was amazing.
Right, right. No. I think the cinematography of it
Hmm.
was amazing. The way it was shot on a low string budget was amazing. I think
Yes.
how when he started raising his hand, how the camera raised, and you could see down on his fist, see how dirty his hands was.
Hmm.
That was amazing, right? I think he pulled that off. I think he got that off, right? But he tested everybody. He didn't just test the Koreans. He didn't just test Sal. He tested the Hispanic dudes too.
Yeah.
Remember, he walked up. They would listen to their salsa, and he just
Yeah.
drowned out their music. He just walked up to them. You know what I'm saying? What it is what it is this neighborhood had no self correction, right? Because how is Mookie one of the leaders on the block? How is Radio Raheem? How is Smiley one of the leaders on the block? How is Bugging Out one of the leaders on the block? Right? I mean, we can blame, we can Worldwide L is in the building. What's good, Chef? That's my man right there. Hey, Chef, I got a puppy, bro. Chef, I got a puppy. I can't wait till you see him, man. I would get him, but he's sleeping right now on my bed. So you're ready. He's 6 weeks old, so I'm gonna have a bunch of surprises on the bed when I go in there. Surprise! I'll be up at night washing sheets. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chuck.
No, 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 no. Um,
Yeah, Chuck. Where were your leaders though? Where were the people that got you back in line?
on 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 uh on that piece of paper,
that
Malcolm,
Smiley had?
that
Yeah,
Smiley had, Malcolm and
yeah.
Martin. You understand? Like, because there was an absence of that, and the person that could talk some sense, the kids did not value his opinion. because they thought he was beneath them, and that was the mayor.
The mayor. Right. Right.
Oh, you're nothing but a drunk. You're a bum. Blah blah blah. But the mayor was dropping gems all day long. And he says the mayor does have, because when the mayor says, "Come here, let me talk to you,"
Right.
everyone ends up going to talk to the mayor.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Mayor says, "Mookie, always do the right thing.
That's all you got? Yes. Do the right
Mhm.
thing.
Do the
Okay,
right
I'm
thing."
out of here. Yeah, that conversation was quick. Right?
Right.
But guess what
So
Mookie
let me
did?
go ahead.
The wrong thing. After that conversation, he continuously did the wrong thing, thinking he was right, but what we call that is being misguided.
Right. Um, I was going to ask, did you think Mookie did the right thing when he picked up that trash can? Was he doing the right thing?
Let me answer your question with a question.
Let's do it.
Does a broken window equal Radio Raheem's life?
No. Everyone blames Sal for that,
Right.
but it was Mookie who ignited that, right?
Right.
And then all the people that were patronizing the business throughout the day, showing Sal some love. As soon as that happened, they tore his store apart. Those
Right.
same people that wanted those 4 slices
Right.
were in there g- taking stuff,
Right. I was pointing
right?
that out to Mo. I was like, yo, does the threat of doing 30 years in prison equal you reaching your hand in the cash register grabbing a handful of coins? So you trespassed,
Hmm.
engaged in the riot,
Hmm.
right? Broke and entered for about $4 worth of quarters. When you watch the movie again, you'll see it. Cass is just reaching over the register,
Yeah.
reaching over the counter, reaching in the register, grabbing about $4 worth of change. And listen, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. For those that were mad at the police for killing Radio Raheem, first of all, think back to the beginning of the movie when the dude with the convertible was driving down the street, right? The dude in the convertible was driving down the street. He was like, "Yo, don't you run that water when I come through here. This is a collector's item." Remember the jerk in the convertible,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't you put that water in my car," right? So he drive. They put the water in the car. The police show up. The police don't chase down the perpetrators. They don't chase down Martin Lawrence and the other kid, the kid in the Lakers jersey. He don't
Hmm.
chase them down. He give a hard time to the dude in the car, basically saying, "Why are you over here bothering these kids? Why? You could have. You saw the water. You saw the water from way back there. You could have turned and went down another street. You
Right.
were in a car.
Could have put the top up. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Could have put the top up. Could have rolled your windows up. You could have a lot of different things. But as he thought since he was the same race as the police, he felt like he can manipulate the police to do whatever to all these kids out here that are just out here trying to have some fun and cool off.
Right.
Because before that car came, you know what they were doing? They were having a good time trying to
Yep.
cool off. Right? That's
Yep.
all they was doing. That's it. That's it. And so guys like that, and guys like Donald Trump who put the thing in and listen, I'm not knocking Trump overall. I don't care about that. I'm talking about these instances,
Right.
right? Trump put a thing in the newspaper about the Central Park Five and all this stuff. And all they did was create a generation of Karens,
Mm-hmm.
right? Creating a generation, because right there we saw the dude. We saw the dude like, yeah, yeah. How was it? You came down, and I know it's a city block. I know it's a city block, and people have the right to travel down any city block or whatever, whatever, whatever. I get that. But who are you to come break up their good time? You're like saying my time, my good time riding around in this collector's item is more important than their good time out here playing in water, trying to cool down on the hottest day of the summer.
Right.
And we knew it was the hottest day of the summer because at the beginning of the movie, you saw on the newspaper stand all the New York papers, talked about how hot this day was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we created a whole bunch of Karens, and we have them there everywhere now. DSJ's in the building. What's good?
Salute.
Yeah. So, but the cops were, and to your point, DSJ, the cops were jerks too, right? But listen, but what I'm saying is the cop in that instance, the water scene,
Mm-hmm.
the cops could have chased everybody, could have locked everybody up. They went and talked to the mayor, and ironically, they treated the mayor with respect.
Yep.
What about the rest of the neighborhood? Did the rest of the neighborhood treat the mayor with respect? I'm just asking. And I know it seems like we look too deep into this stuff, but here's the thing: when characters when characters are deep characters, like when the creation of when Spike Lee was writing Do the Right Thing, when he created the mayor on purpose, intentionally, to have you think about the complexity of the people that you live around every day.
Right. So speaking on the respect of the mayor, right? Mother sister despised the mayor for no other reason than he reminded her of her ex-husband and her tenant.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Never got to know the man, but because he was an alcoholic and she's had bad experiences with alcoholics, her husband
And men in general. Yeah.
and so she's, oh, I already know your type. But then when she sees him save the little boy, she still tries to be, mean. Well, you're just a fool
Right.
for trying to say that. But I don't think this changes anything. I just seen you you do a good thing, and I just wanted to say something. And what I saw was you didn't know him. You made a snap judgment based on what you see, but that's not who he is. His character came through when he didn't think about himself, but to save a boy's life, right?
Right. Right.
He saves the young boy's life, right? And then here comes the strong black woman
Right.
walking up, scares him even worse than what he was
Right.
being tackled, right?
Right. Right.
He can't even get the words out of his mouth. Well, what happened? What's going on? And the little boy is afraid. He has a bruised elbow, a bruised
Right.
knee, and she beats him, sends him home. And everybody's like, man, you didn't have to beat him. He didn't do anything wrong per se that deserved
The
a
car,
whooping.
the driver of the car was wrong.
Speeding.
Speeding around the block and swerving.
Yes.
Remember, he swerved around the corner. But
Yes.
in between the part where she snapped on the mayor. What'd you do to my boy?
Yep.
Why my boy on the ground? And the boy looked at his arm, showed his mama his arm. He had a bruise. What'd you do to my
Hmm.
son? Flying off the handle. Mommy dearest, right? Which and listen, I don't begrudge her in that moment because remember, at the same time, we're talking about Brooklyn, New York. Okay, let's not act like this is the Garden of Eden. This is Brooklyn, New York, right in the
Right.
'80s. You know what I'm saying? And she saw her son with physical marks on him, right? So I don't begrudge her in that moment, getting her feathers all up, ready to fight. At the same time, again, none of the people in that crowd said the mayor saved that boy life. Not even mother sister, right? Not even mother sister who saw it, and we know
Right.
she saw it because she complimented the mayor later on.
Right.
Right? Nobody went to the mayor's defense or the kid's defense because now the kid is going to try to explain. I did watch for cars. I was crossing the street, right? This car just came from out of nowhere, and this man saved my life. Because if you watch it, the kid was paying attention. The
Right.
car did come from out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? The mayor did show up from out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, to help save the boy. You know what I'm saying? So all these, it wasn't the mayor's fault, and it wasn't the kid's fault. It wasn't the mother's fault for protecting her baby. Some Another misunderstanding. How people don't communicate.
Okay. The mother makes a very poignant point, and that's why I said it described it as the angry black woman because everybody's like, "Nah, miss, you didn't have to beat him."
Right.
First of all, I won't be questioned by anybody on how I raised my child, not even his father,
Right.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, not even his father gets to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, babe, well, maybe this ain't the right way," or "Nah, maybe you're too harsh on him," or whatever. No, the father don't get that say.
And the father must not be a. This neighborhood must be weak. This
Maybe.
neighborhood, neighborhood, because when I heard her say that, and me and Mo was sitting on the bed, right?
Hmm.
I ain't gonna lie, I was eating up everything in the house. Man, I'm vegan, bro. I be trying to get full, man. God dog it. But anyway, when I saw that part, all I could think about is that Cheryl Pepsi Riley song. The voice, so much joy. Yeah, I know the song I'm talking about. The joint Full Force wrote for her. Full Force was on fire. Full Force had did all the Lisa and Cult Jam joints,
Right.
and then they was doing their own joints. I think Ain't My Type of Hype was out or something. I think they did some joints did something with Vesta or something. Man, it was man. Full Force was, and they
Full
had
Force
the
is on
joint
fire
with
for sure.
yeah, and so they had the they did with Cheryl Pepsi. But y'all know the name of the joint, man. Why y'all, man? Julian Blum, you know music, bro. You know what song I'm talking about, man. Uh, 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 Y'all know what I'm talking about. About the mama trying to raise the baby by herself.
Um,
No, Cully, take you home. That's Lisa in Cult Jam. Um, let me see. Let me.
I'm looking. I'm looking. Oh,
No.
child.
Child. What?
Thanks for my child. EP. I'm looking at her.
Yeah,
I'm looking at her.
yeah,
I'm looking at
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. See,
yeah.
I became more familiar with her later on in her career, and then she was brought back with all the Tyler Perry stuff. But
Okay, okay.
I'm looking at her discography, and I was like, this got to be the song right here, because some of these
Let
other ones I know.
me see. You said okay. Um, Pepsi, Riley. child. Thanks for my child. That's it. That's it. That's it. Thanks for my child. That joint, bro. That joint will bring a tear to your eye if you let it. But listen, what I'm getting at is when the mama came out. When the mama came out, that's what I was thinking about. Like, thanks for my child. When the mama came out and was protecting her baby, I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know. But the thing about it is still there was no leadership there, and they depended on Mookie. Mookie was y'all leader. A dude named Mookie is leading the neighborhood.
Well, and that was sad. You were being led by a guy who was lost himself.
Right. And guess who the other leader was? A dude named Bugging Out. That's y'all leader? A dude named Bugging Out is the de facto leader when Mookie ain't around?
Yep.
John Talento's in the building. What's good? Let's go, Knicks. What's good?
Black University was good. Um, I think that was the point because you have Smiley, a guy who is uh challenged.
Yeah.
He has been walking around the neighborhood all day with the same photos of the same two leaders that when it comes to our community, those are the first two names that people bring up, and these men been dead over 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And I thought that was um, important. I thought that was very important. Even the scene where Bugging Out is trying to rap. No one is rocking with Bugging Out.
Right.
They're telling him now, like, bro, no, we not getting involved with that. Like, we rock with Sal. Like, we grew up on Sal's pizza. Like, Sal ain't never did anything wrong to us. So what?
Right.
He don't want to put up any brothers. So he
Right.
goes around all day till he finds the one other person. Nope, the two other people that have a problem with Sal. That's Smiley. He really don't have a problem with Sal. It was
Vito.
Vito, right?
Right.
And then Radio Raheem has
Who got a
an
problem
issue,
with everybody?
right? Because
He
he's a
got a
bully.
problem with yeah, yeah.
He just didn't beat anybody. He just didn't beat anybody up.
Right.
But he was the bully. Think about
Yeah.
this. He's walking with his now he could very easily walk on the sidewalk. But because I'm walking in the streets, I look over at them like, and so they
Right.
go stand in front of the water to keep the
Right.
water from getting him and his radio wet. There's
Right.
sidewalks on both sides of the street.
Right. Right.
But because I'm Radio Raheem, y'all respect me. Right?
And
And they
every
did.
and yeah, and I think every neighborhood had that type of guy. The guy you didn't really mess with, like you may not have never seen him beat anybody up, but maybe somebody told you a story or two about him. You know what I'm saying? You better not mess with that dude because that dude was on Fulton Street. I seen him knock a dude through a plate glass window. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't ever seen it. You just heard about it. You know what I'm saying? You heard about him because the movie is complex, bro. The movie is it's not the okay. I will say it like this. I think the direction of the movie, I'm not talking about which way it went. I'm talking about the overall. The dude that directed the movie, Spike Lee, did an excellent job directing the movie because he made these characters believable in an unbelievable situation.
Right.
And so here's the thing: the script was simple, but he had some of the greatest actors and actresses to ever do it. Ruby D is in this movie.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie. Danny Aiello is in this movie. Ozzie Davis is in this movie. You know what I'm saying? These are
Bill
people.
Nunn.
Bill Nunn. These are some of the greatest people. John Turturro.
Yes.
Some of the greatest actors and actresses to ever do it are in this low budget shoestring movie. Right? And they pull off the basic neighborhood movie. Right? Look, for instance, a couple of weeks ago we did Boys in the Hood, and the acting was terrible, but the writing and direction were awesome. Right? The writing and directing and the scene, the back, everything about Boys in the Hood, outside of the acting itself, was amazing. Right? Because the dude playing Ricky, okay, Trey swinging, fighting the army in Nia Long living room. You know, I mean, Angela Bassett was over the top in that movie. The only person that I gave like the only person that was compelling as an actor in that movie was Lawrence Fishburne, in my opinion. The little boys, they were little boys. You can't really grade them, right? In this movie, though, Ruby D, you forget that that's Ruby D. You know her as Mama's sister. She pulled that off.
Yeah.
You forget that the mayor, D.A. Mayor, is Ozzie Davis. You forget that the Iron Man DJ is Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Yo, you forget that Sal is Danny Aiello. Yeah, I remember Danny Aiello from Harlem Nights, the detective in Harlem Nights.
Yeah.
Calling home, tell your mama I ain't never coming home. You know what I'm saying? That's Danny Aiello, bro. You feel me? So they get so Spike Lee, and I'm not saying that the script was poorly written. I'm not saying that, right? I'm saying because I think the script was well written. Because Chuck, if the script was poorly written, I'll be honest with you, we wouldn't be here talking about it today. I'd have picked something else.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But the way they pulled off these characters, bro. Yo, mama sister on the stoop talking about be careful. You know I'm tender-headed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Spike Lee didn't write that. She ad-libbed that. You could tell because how does Spike Lee know about being tender-headed? He a boy, he a man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Spike Lee don't know nothing about getting his hair done. You know what I'm saying? And so there was so many parts of this movie that were like the cinematography, just the way the scenes were shot. Like when a little girl was drawn in the street with the chalk and Spike just walked across it to deliver his pizza. I mean, I just thought that was brilliant.
Everything about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant too. It was the
Right.
picture of the quote unquote American dream, a house, a car,
Right.
right? And he just walked over it. Like,
Right. 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 And it's the irony of that. It's the irony of that.
oh
Right?
yeah.
It's the irony of that. Like she legit is unfazed by these stupid adult issues. She young, right? She is still impressionable, right? She
Right.
going to school, so she learning about these things, and she's mapping out the American dream. And a old dude, just walk across it like the American dream is nothing.
Right.
It's nothing. And I'm not saying that the American dream is nothing. I'm saying this dude walking across it is like letting her know, oh, this chalk picture, this ain't important. We about 10 years, it's about 10 years, you'll laugh when you see what you was doing. It's basically this ain't nothing.
I, man, there's so much I want to go in on that, but I think that it- the nuances of this movie, man, like the things, the little subtle things that are mapped out in the movie, just speaks volumes,
Right.
right? Um, one of one of the things that I liked in the movie is when everyone does their little
Oh, if they flipping out about another race?
yes.
Yeah, man.
I was like, but it gives you an insight on how people think and what people think about another race, right?
Right. Right.
Everyone, as soon as you think, they're talking about one person, they're talking about another, right?
Right. Right.
And so everyone catches this slander.
Right.
Everyone catches this slander. The cops rolling by slow, looking at the men on the corner, and they feel some type of way, and they're both saying the same thing about one another. What a waste,
Right.
right? A waste of
Right.
time for y'all coming over here harassing us. What a
Right.
waste. Three
Right.
men not doing nothing with their lives.
Right.
But we don't know the context in which those guys are out there. I do agree, Unc, if he made this into a series, because he made uh She's Gotta Have It into a series, and I don't think that was a
Right.
movie that needed a series.
No.
Of
Girl
all the
six.
movies that he's ever
Girl
done,
six
not
would have
even
been better than
yeah.
that.
like it, I love Spike, but I was getting so annoyed in the beginning. Like, yo, why you keep casting yourself for these roles that we know are unbelievable?
Right.
She want the bike messenger, you.
Really.
But it
Really.
was another great Spike production, and Spike uses the same people.
Right.
If you in his movies, he uses the same people.
Right.
Um, Same thing like Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino uses the same people.
Right.
Uh, uh, um,
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Um, who did the his name is on the tip of my tongue. Did the Irishman? Did um not Francis oh my goodness, what is his name? Um, he did just about every movie that you've seen Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in together. Because uh uh what's his name? Not Danny DeVito. Uh Joe Pesci's always in the movies with them too.
Um.
Um
Um.
what is the director's name?
Francis Ford Coppola.
I don't I might be
You
wrong.
said, did he direct Heat?
Um
Michael Mann.
no.
Okay.
Uh let me see. I gotta Google it now. I hate not having this information off the top of my head. One thing that I'm going to make a concerted effort is cut down on my marijuana use because my memory is shot. Martin Scorsese. Thank
Martin
you, John.
Scorsese. That's him.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
My mind be drawing a blank a lot. I'm like, yo, man, I know who this is, and then can't get it. Um,
Right.
so
Right.
what movie? No, we already
Uh.
got Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese
Yeah.
uses the same guys.
Yeah.
He uses the
Basically.
same
Yeah.
guys. Um, so yeah, once these actors become familiar with, or a director become familiar with these actors,
Right.
he goes to them,
Right. It's
like
the
because I
go-to.
know they're going to, I know exactly what they're going to deliver. and none of these guys' performances are the same. Like John Esposito, his his portrayal of Bugging Out is not the same character as in Mo Better Blues.
Mo Better Blues, yeah.
Same dude, but not the same character, not portrayed the same, don't have the same mannerisms
Right.
or anything.
Right. So but I'm bugging out, and
Bugging Out.
bugging out and um not Mo Better Blues, but School Days.
School Days. Oh, he was in
Yeah.
Mo Better Blues too.
Yeah, but I'm saying they all different.
Oh yeah, they're all different. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so the thing is with Spike, as we look to close this, I guess we can write like 9 more minutes, man. We don't want to have it be too long for people,
Right.
But the thing is with this, the thing is with Spike and Do the Right Thing is you have to ask the question, was the right thing done?
No. That was the question. That was definitely the question that I went into thinking, because it kept saying do the right thing. Did
Right.
Mookie do the right thing?
Right. No.
No.
Everybody let their emotions ball over. Every opportunity. During the movie, Sal, DeMea, they all, the older guys tried to stop emotions from boiling over,
Mm-hmm.
and they could not. Something was destined to happen. Right? Something was because if you think about it, the older dudes were the ones attacked in this movie, right? Danny Aiello was attacked.
Yes.
DeMea was attacked, but Mookie was not.
Right.
Bugging Out was not. Martin Lawrence was not.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Vito, the one with all the
Yes.
left do the movie, he was not he probably got attacked afterward, like trying to help his father,
Mm-hmm.
but he was not the target of an attack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so you watch as young kids attack DeMea. DeMea was minding his business, sitting on the stoop drinking beer, and they just walked up to him and started talking trash to him. Why?
Why they call you the mayor? You walk up and down here inebriated.
Yeah. Right. And if I was the mayor, I would have been like, you walk around here not. Both us walking,
Right. But that goes to show how we talk about community, right?
Right.
But people in the community know each other, right? Like it's not just I see you and I know your nickname, but I know your story, right? Because it'll be instances like when I first moved to the South, my grandma, don't go over there and don't do that. Leave them alone. But I'm like, why? That old, she not crazy.
Yeah. Leave alone.
Her husband died.
Right.
Both of her sons went to war and got killed.
Right.
And it's just her.
It's just her.
And she don't got enough courage to kill herself.
Right.
So she been drinking and
Right.
drinking and drinking ever since.
Right. And she need counseling, but when you don't have a support system to help you get through counseling, you don't even go. Because some people try to find a message in a bottle. That's why I love that. Man, listen, and I'm gonna stay on Do the Right Thing, I promise. But I love the song by the Police, Message in a Bottle.
Yes.
Because people think about being stranded on a desert island and with no help. right?
Hmm.
Right? But it's an example of how people are the deserted island, right? Like we are our own islands, and sometimes we let people come on, and sometimes we don't, right? And sometimes we send out signals for help, and we think people don't understand. Like, hey man, I'm this deserted island. Man, listen. If y'all want to hear, if y'all want to hear some break, Chuck, I have seriously been thinking about like doing the same movie review for music.
Okay, I,
Like
I'm in it.
there are three songs right off the top of my head. In the Ed Tonight by Phil Collins, very misunderstood song because people hear the drum break, do 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 do, yeah, and then they hear that bass guitar. I can feel it come. They don't even think about the lyrics, bro.
Right.
Right? I was telling Chuck, earlier. I was telling Chuck about a song called "Raspberry Beret" by Prince. Right?
Hmm.
And in the lyric, the start of the song goes, um, "I was working part time in a five and dime. My boss named Mr. McGee. He said he didn't like my kind because I was too leisurely." So he's telling the story, right? Automatically, as soon as he say that, you're like,
Hmm.
okay, I can imagine I'm in a store with the five and dime. I'm the guy watching Prince and the boss talk. Automatically, in those little bars, he pull you automatically in,
Right.
right? Another song, "Stand" by Eminem.
Yes.
Mm, 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 mm. So, but but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'm with that for sure.
yeah. Breaking down music, bro. The man. So the movie review thing is great. I think we need to keep this up. Next week we had on the docket. I think we had a couple movies. We mentioned Heat, and there was another movie we mentioned, Purple Rain. I think was it Purple Rain we mentioned earlier on the
Yeah,
telephone.
we mentioned that earlier.
Okay, I would
per-
rather do Heat.
okay.
Purple Rain's okay, but I would rather do Heat.
Yeah, I there aren't um the thing that I would like to say, because we keep getting suggestions for movies. Like, we're looking for movies that are multi-layered. It's not just we're gonna watch, you know uh I don't know,
Friday. We're gonna watch
Friday.
Friday and break down the complexity of Ezel. Ezel ain't complex.
Oh. No, he's very so we're looking for those multi-layered movies with more than just surface topics, something that we can dig into. That's why we did the Dark Knight, because as
Right.
much as people believe that's just an action movie, it is it is so layered. And then once you go from uh the Dark Knight to the Dark Knight Rises, because it starts off as
Batman Begins. Yeah.
Batman Begins, right? And with each increasing installment of the movie, Batman is starting to be lost in translation,
Yeah.
and you're being introduced to the Dark Knight. And so that's why
Right.
we went into that into that movie,
Right.
breaking down the nuances of the movie and
Right.
seeing the bigger picture.
Right.
It's not being deep for the sake of being deep, but some things just need to be brought to light.
Some things deserve a deep dive.
Right.
Because
Right.
as human beings, we are complexed and layered. And that's where a lot of misunderstandings come from because you look at Uncle Freezy as a basic YouTube celebrity type, whatever. I'm not that. I'm other stuff, right?
Right.
I'm not a celebrity. I'm a dude, right? But at the same time, there are layers to this. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, do I talk all Knicks all the time? Yeah, I talk all Knicks all the time. But will I break down music? Will I break down a message in the bottle by the Police? Yes, I will do that. You know what I'm saying? Will I break down Purple Rain by Prince, the song Purple Rain? About Prince running from people that he think are not good enough, only to realize that he is just like them.
Yep.
I will do that. So yeah, man. Hey, Chuck, you want to say something before we get out of here?
Oh man, I had a great time breaking this down. Watching it again with adult eyes and experience.
Right,
Um, Seeing things and going through things throughout my life allowed me to I still appreciate the movie, right?
right,
I think the movie is a visual masterpiece. I think there's content that can be taken away. This movie is so timely because
right,
everything that was going on and that he depicted at that time could
right.
be dropped in 2022 right now, and we're like, oh, yeah,
It's relevant.
it's relevant, right?
Yeah.
Um, Great movie. Had a great time, man. Can't wait for next week heat. So everybody
Heat,
that's in the
heat next
chat,
week.
if you come in, definitely come and check us out on next Saturday. Um, Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. We and those who haven't seen it, go and watch it.
Go and
Go
watch
and
it.
watch
Come
it.
watch it.
Take some notes.
Take
Analyze each
notes.
scene,
Right,
and then we come back and we have another great conversation, man. Because the chat was
right,
definitely on fire today, man.
right,
I appreciate you
right,
guys.
right. No doubt.
Go ahead, on.
Oh, hey man, listen, we're gonna continue to rock, man. This series, the song thing, we'll put that into development, so to speak.
Hmm.
We'll see if we can. Songs are shorter, so the
Hmm.
conversations may be shorter depending on the depth. So we'll try to work on that to see if we can get that popping too. If y'all have some suggestions, y'all hit us up with some good, with some iconic songs, right? Because we ain't gonna do "Whoop There It Is." We ain't gonna break down the lyrics of "Whoop There It Is." You know what I'm saying?
Or
Uh, uh,
Laffy
uh,
Taffy.
oh, Laffy, the Laffy Taffy, the Laffy Taffy. Now we ain't gonna break down that right there, right? But if you got something that you want to, that you want to break down, um, what we'll do is break down those songs, the lyrical content, the people that played on the song, who wrote it, who produced it.
Hmm.
What was the time like and when it was written?
Hmm.
What I'm saying, get in depth into it, and so maybe we can do that. I'm saying, either late Saturday nights or early Saturday evenings before we do the movie review. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we'll see how it goes. That's what vibes and stuff is for, so that we can vibe and stuff.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Um, Trey, you want to close this out, bro?
All right. Hey, I thank everybody for coming through. Shout out to Julian Blum, my guy. I appreciate you coming through. John Talento, thank you, sir, for coming through. Appreciate your contributions. Cully, my dude, Mr.
Cully was good.
Versatile. Appreciate you coming through, man. Uh, Black University, thank you, sir, for coming through. Appreciate you. DSJ, the real DSJ,
In the
Delano Steele
building.
Jr. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You could have been anywhere else, but you here rocking with us. Thank you, sir. Who else do we have in the chat? I don't want to miss anybody, simply because you took time out of your schedule to come chop it up with me and Unc, where you could have been doing anything else. Rome from Far Rock, man. Appreciate you coming through. Robert Paul, man.
Rabbit pie.
That's my guy, man. I appreciate you coming through, man.
Right.
Let's see who else. And that's it, man. I really appreciate you guys coming through, making the chat what it was. This was a great breakdown. Gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Be safe. Make sure you're doing the right thing, and we'll see you uh Monday morning, 8 a.m. ish to 9 a.m. ish with Vibes and Stuff live. in the morning. So have a great weekend. Unc, you got anything coming up tomorrow as far as KMD business? I mean,
No
Sears business.
KMD business. Possibly Lawrence Sears. I hadn't heard the word from a few people yet, but possibly. So I don't want to say yes or no to that. Right. I'm gonna see how if Benny lets me get some sleep tonight, I want to rock in the morning, but I can't guarantee none of that stuff. So I don't want to make a promise that I can't keep.
Okay. Okay. Salute Stafford Don. Stafford Don.
Staffa Don is in the building.
Oh, did I say Soulfinger number 12? Soulfinger.
What's Soulfinger at?
Soulfinger did. I thought I saw him in the chat.
I ain't seen him. Okay. Shout out to Soulfinger anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, y'all. We're gonna get out of here, man. Y'all have a good evening. We will holler at y'all later. Peace.